Hi everyone, welcome to another discussion session right here at the APVA Awards 2024. I'm sure you're having a great time because I am having a great time as well as I cannot wait to get into a beautiful conversation with one of the very beautiful voiceover artists we've got in the continent of Africa. She's no small person. But before I go into that, my name is T Code. I'm a voiceover artist, a podcaster, a voiceover coach, and I'm the creative partner at the Association of African Podcasters and Voice Actors. That's APVA. Now, let's do what we're here for. I want to speak to one of our coaches. Rather, should I say, one of our judges. She's a coach, actually. But then here
Mhm.
she's working as a judge for the APVA Awards. She's been with us since inception. She's a voiceover coach. She's an author, and she's the founder of the Voice Acting League of Kenya, where voiceover artists come together to learn, to share, and to network. She's a recipient of many recognitions and awards. The latest, which is been the best international overall voiceover performer at the One Voice Awards USA 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about no other person than Jennifer Kanari. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, 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 Tolu. Nice to be
How you
talking to you
doing?
again. And thank
Nice to
you
talk to
for
you
the
too.
introduction.
Yeah, and how is Kenya today?
Kenya's good. You may know we've been going through some uprisings and cries for justice
Mm.
with our Gen Z. So I think that's really good for Kenya.
Mm,
Where I
great.
am now, it's warm, it's sunny, the coast of Kenya. So it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, it's warm and sunny right there in Kenya. It's kind of like cold in South Africa because I was speaking with Shaluit just the other day. Anyways, right here in Nigeria, it's a mix of both. But it's beautiful to see the continents come
Mhm.
together for an award event. And speaking about the award event, you're one of our judges in the voiceover category. So let's talk about
Right.
um judging in the voiceover category. Let's just dive right into it, Jennifer. You've been doing this since inception of our awards. You've been, going through entries and judging, and you've seen one or two things. In the last 3 years, what are the things that you would say you found to be the standout factors for people who emerge winners or whom you deem to be potential winners of the awards so far?
Hmm. Yeah, so I have been doing it for this is the third year now. And well, for one, the fact that we have such a variety of voice types is amazing. I totally enjoy the experience of judging and listening to everybody. This year was different with a lot of North African entries, which was very nice. It was nice to hear them throw in their amazing voiceover work. And so that I like every year. I think even the Zambian, if I'm not mistaken, there was entries from more from not the run of the mill, the Nigerian, Kenyan, the South African also have been featuring. So the entry of different regions of Africa, I love that. The very, very bold and authentic is what I was saying, is very key for me as a judge. And what I mean by that is we have varying accents in Africa. I, for example, don't have a typical African accent, you would say. But I am African and this is my accent. Therefore, it is an African accent, if you understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I totally love, yes, when the slightly Arabic tone comes through. They're not trying to sound American, is what I'm saying. You're not
Yeah.
trying to sound like me. So I
Yeah.
love that. I love it. And yet there are those like me who have a blend and we
Mm.
just do us with a little bit of Africanness showing up. But coming through with a real feel of the script that you're reading, which makes it very enjoyable, which is really the art of voiceover. So that mix is what I look for when I'm judging. And I found it in pretty much everyone I listened to this year.
Now
It was a
that's
tough
beautiful.
judge. It was a tough one.
Mm. Mm.
Mm.
I guess the talents were very good, so it makes it tough. But I am glad to hear all of this. If I could sum all of this into a word, it will be being authentic, right? Authenticity is one of those standout factors for you, Jennifer. And that brings me back to uh early this year in May when we had the first edition of the Africa Voiceover Day. And we were talking about voices of Africa. And it's just beautiful for us to know that we are truly representing our accents and our uniqueness as Africans. Now let's talk about the awards and its relevance to
Mm.
the entire
Mm.
voiceover community in Africa and even beyond Africa. You've been judging in our awards, and you've also been a recipient of award events as well, like the very recent One Voice Awards, where, of course, like I said earlier, you are the best performing international voiceover artist. So, what would you say is the relevance of this kind of event?
Well, definitely. This would be my second award, probably the biggest one, though, bigger one. And as a recipient, I can see that happening for anybody who is nominated. Just to be nominated is one thing. And then to win that category is very affirming of the hard work that goes into doing voiceover. That is one thing that awards do, and APVA does uniquely for African artists. It recognizes and rewards, you could say, the work that goes on behind the career that people may look at. It's years of sitting behind your microphone, training. I too do a lot of training. This year, I actually did 2 trainings with international artists to up my game.
Mm,
I don't know if that contributed to my win, but I would like to think so. And so it's rewarding, and it also affirms the fact that voiceover is really a legitimate way to have,
mm,
a career that one can stand behind and speak proudly about. And the final thing is that in Africa, still people think, you speak for a living? So that the fact that there are awards and we're making them bigger and there's a bigger noise about it helps people understand, yes, I am paid to speak, but I'm trained to do it well. Whether it's self-taught, and some people are just born naturals, or you have been listening to ads
mm,
and animation and audio books. So there's a hearing you have about what goes into that particular category.
mm.
But it's legitimate, it's honorable, and it's on the map now. It's getting there more with the award sessions or award ceremonies like this one.
Beautifully said, Jennifer. You have a way of saying deep and rich things in a very succinct manner. Just throw it out there. And it felt like I was listening to a voice of a coach. Well, that's what you do as well. And congratulations on your award. That was a big win for Africa and for you too,
Yeah,
and for Kenya.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I always like to ask you this question, and I'm going to ask you again this year. Our industry is evolving and we're having more creatives come up, right? But you've been here for over a decade now. So there is the benefit of
Mm,
hindsight, and then you're still very active in the system. So you kind of like a part
yeah,
of those shaping the future of the voiceover industry in
yeah.
Africa. So I'd like to get your perspective on what you think about the voiceover industry as it's evolving. What are the new developments that you foresee coming in the near future, in terms of technology and even the talents themselves? Where do you see Africa going
Mm,
in the voiceover space?
mm, mm. Yeah, good question. Yes. So AI is right up there in that answer. AI is here, and I was one who thought that them catching up the automated voice, the synthesized voice with the African accent, I would share. in past interviews that they're a long way away from getting our accent. Don't worry about it. Not so. This
Mm,
year, in Kenya at least, we've seen a lot of small production houses outright saying, please, I'm going to make your voice without a lot of without a lot of sentences or words given to them, right up front saying we're going the synthesized voice way for animation, cartoon,
wow.
largely, and work, and now commercial work. So the discussion we had with international bodies that had seen this and were experiencing it, America and Europe, where it's important to be ahead of the conversation in terms of contracting. So not to be afraid of AI, but rather to make it work for you and
Mhm,
speak to whoever approaches you openly, which is good. That, okay, that's fine, use my voice, but let's have a contract, finite, or the parameters of how you pay me for the use of my voice are clear. Then I'm happy to give you my voice. So that's what we call the AI rider, and just starting the conversation with, I'm okay with you using my voice, but let's protect my voice.
mm,
That it's here. So we have to be mindful about how we approach the business angle
mm,
of voiceover even more. Even more. We're not great with reading contracts, Tolu, still. And we need to
mm,
really, you know, prioritize that now in order to protect your voice. Because once it's out there and it's been synthesized, you could literally be out of a job.
mm,
Um, as now it becomes up for anybody to use your voice if they can find it. So we in Kenya, we're actively talking to people about actually creating a Swahili app where our voices, we go through the whole process and put our Swahili voices and sell them. But we are in
mm.
control of that. So being proactive is going to be important concerning AI. And then
Wow.
the other part, I think, still has to do with, yeah, it's here. But you can make a whole lot of money, as little as it is coming in, if you manage it properly. So that's our hope and prayer that we can get ahead of it. The other part is kind of tied in, Tolu, that as much as we're getting our money from doing other people's projects, from voicing and collaborating with amazing projects, that we will come closer and closer to being able to market our stories beautifully packaged. So technology, in terms of the imagery and the whole production um, excellence, that is marketable to our West that love our stories and then tell our stories authentically. Um, Meaning we represent ourselves, you know, the stories of Africans in tights and capes, the superheroes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's not
Mm-hmm.
us, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the generation that feels that that is them, but there's also a lot of strength in just being you in your normal
True.
clothes, or even, yes, the skin and the simple attire, sitting around a fire, making stories the main thing, and reminding people about guilt, greed, and all those things that ail Africa. We're telling our stories, warning ourselves, reminding our children where we came from, but so beautifully told using technology, using what we've learned. There's still I don't know, it's not a good reputation we have for substandard quality. It's changing. It's changing slowly. So it's already begun. Um, and so I think the future is bright. The future is really good. But we have to preserve, I think, is the term, I think, that as OG, let's not sell our soul as we go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I do.
Yeah.
And
For the dollar. Yeah.
oh yeah. I mean, these are so beautiful things to hear and to discuss really. And I feel like we need to have a podcast episode where we can break it down, talking about, creating the app, the Swahili app, and then talking about preserving the true identity of our stories as Africans. I can't wait to have those explosive conversations with you on my podcast. That's the Everything
Mm,
Voiceovers
mm,
podcast. But then let's keep that for later. This is the APVA Awards, and it's been fascinating talking with you, Jennifer. Thank you so much for, sharing your time with us and your skill with us.
You're welcome. It's always amazing talking with you, Tolu. And big up to APVA. Keep the fire burning. Keep the fire
Thank
burning.
you.
This is a great stamp on the voiceover and podcasting map and industry. So thank you.
Yep. Thank us. And thanks to every voiceover artist in Africa, podcasters, and spoken word artists, ensuring that stories are being told
Mm-hmm.
genuinely. All right. That's it for this
Awesome.
segment of the awards, a discussion session with Jennifer Kanari, one of the top voiceover artists we have in Africa, the founder of VALK, a voice actor, coach, and an author. My name is T Code, and I'll see you next time on another discussion session. Till then, keep enjoying the APVA 2024 Awards, Kings of the Game. Bye.